Alright, hey guys, it's Epoch. Today I wanted to make a video talking about a truly rare and special Pokemon that I bought. And I'm going to give a lot of info about um, shiny alphas, how you obtain them, why mine in particular is so rare. So let's get into it. Um, so first of all, having a shiny alpha is one of the rarest things you could have in this game. Uh, when you see somebody with one in game, they've usually got a bunch of people running around them, trying to take a screenshot of them. They stand out like a sore thumb. As you can see, this Amoonguss behind me is absolutely gigantic. uh, Not only that, but they cost a ton of money. So to even like buy one, uh, will run you a lot. It's a significant time investment to get the amount of money that you need to buy a Shalfa. For example, let's just go and look at what the cheapest one on the GTL is real quick. So we go alpha, shiny, then we go to the cheapest. Yeah, the cheapest one right now is a shiny alpha Kingler for I think it was 34 mil. Most players won't even get to that amount of money, and in order to spend that amount of money on the game, like if we're talking just buying RP vouchers, it'd be like 136 bucks. Um, and it's safe to say that nobody really wants to drop that amount of money on the game. At least I don't, but you know, some people will. Uh, So to even own one is a pretty rare occurrence. That being said, though, there are players that are crazy enough to hunt one as their OT. Um, and I'll explain what an OT is in like layman's terms, just in case somebody who doesn't play POKEMMO watches this video. An OT is the original trainer. So if we look at this Amoonguss, the OT is AEXQ. So it's not mine. My player name is Epoch. Uh, I found this Smeargle in the wild, which means my OT on it is Epoch. That's the whole reason why people shiny hunt on this game, is because they want to prove that the Pokemon they found in the wild is the one that they have on them. It's like a collector's thing. So yeah, having the OT on your Pokemon basically means that you're the creator of the Pokemon, you found it originally, or you're the first owner of a specific Pokemon. And as you can imagine, doing this for a shiny alpha is it's a ridiculous challenge. Not many people do it. Um, so the first, I'd say like the most obvious way of finding a Shalfa, uh, that most people think of is just checking all the alpha swarms in game. So there's 4 of them per day. It's a random spawn. I think I'm not really sure if they pick and choose them because it kind of seems like some of them take a little bit longer than other ones. Uh, but it would take you a ridiculously long time to get to 30,000 checks on those because you would have to see all 4 of them each day, uh, without missing a beat. And if you do that for like a full year, you're only getting like 1,400, 1,500 encounters a year. So to have a shiny alpha with your OT with the Met tag, which is this Met level 28. If you have a hatched Pokemon, it'll say hatched in. That's the difference. That's how you can tell that a Pokemon is found in the wild and how a Pokemon is hatched. Um, to have a shiny alpha with the Met it's ridiculous. It's a once in a lifetime shiny. Um, there are easier ways of finding a shiny alpha. So you could get one by egg breeding, and I say easier with air quotes because it's still a it's it's crazy how much investment you have to put into this game. So if we look at the base price of male alphas right now, so let's go to alpha male, and this will just be so okay. The cheapest one right now is a humanoid, and it's 30k. The next ones are 31. I'd say that most male breeders for alphas are around 35. Some of the more expensive groups will be stuff like Monster, which has a base price of 60. Stuff like Fairy, which has a base price of 45. Stuff like Chaos, which is 60. And that's just because their Shalfas are more desirable. The Pokemon in them are more desirable. People want to breed them up and they want to change their um their Pokemon's gender. Uh, so because each attempt is going to cost so much money, let's say you spent 30,000 on on each breed. So you spend 30,000 on each male breeder. 1 in 30k odds. If I'm not mistaken, that's just 30k times 30k, and that's about 900 million. Yeah, and you'd have to think, not even in counting dono status or charms or hell, even just getting the male breeders, because sometimes you gotta, if let's say you're making a full box of breeds, there might not even be enough cheap alphas on the GTL for you to buy. Um, so you're gonna be buying them up basically. Uh, and the rarest ones of these would probably have to be stuff like, let's bring it up. So stuff like Starmie, or stuff like Cryogonal, stuff like, um, what's the other one that's genderless and has an alpha? Let me try and remember it. Um, what is it? What is it? What is it? Oh, Electrode. So these ones, because they're genderless, you have to either use another Pokemon of the species or an Alpha Ditto. And Alpha Dittos right now I think are around 70k, but usually they're like 100. So those are 100k per attempt with just the regular odds. So these three in specific are really, really rare to find as Shalfas, because you really can't egg hunt them that well. You'd have to be an insane billionaire player. Um, okay, so another way of finding Shalfas though, and this one is pretty controversial. It's the mysterious, where are they? Mysterious Premier Ball. So here they are. It costs 300k per. It's they have boosted odds, so it's 1 in 4,000. But the drawback of these is that you can't choose what Shalfie you get. That's another drawback of doing it in the way where you just check all 4 a day. And that's the pro that egging them has, is that you get to choose which one you get. So with Mysterious Premier Balls, they do have exclusive alphas. So I believe that Alpha Sawsbuck is one that you can only get from the Premier Balls. Let me look. Yep. And there's a few other ones, but this is the only one that comes to the top of my head. Um, so yeah, you open these. It's gonna cost a shit ton of money. It's 300k per attempt, and the thing about them is that this is essentially a loot box. Like it's full on gambling. I have a video where I open some of them, and it's just full pain the whole way through. But the cool thing is that I believe there is a shiny alpha one. Yeah, okay. You do get this cool met from a mysterious premier ball, which only comes from that way of finding it. So in some way, they are a little bit more exclusive than other in other shalfas. But personally, I don't really know if these things should be in the game. they seem they seem a little too crazy. Uh, but yeah, the other thing about mysterious premier balls is that I don't even think there's 4,000 of them on the GTL right now. So in order to get to odds, you would probably have to really scam yourself by buying a lot of the cheap ones and then just going up and spending more and more and more and more and more. So yeah, it's pretty messed up to try and get a Shalfa from one of these. Um, but there is another rarity of Shalfa that goes above and beyond. Um, that would be the Fateful Encounter type. So if we go to Alpha and then we type Fateful Encounter, not the Jinxes. uh, all of this stuff, apart from some Premier Ball ones, because for some reason when you search Fateful Encounter, it brings those up. I think it's a glitch. Um, all of these are event exclusive uh, alphas, and a lot of these, when you found them in their events, could not be shiny, as far as I know. Um, so stuff like the Zorua, I think, was shiny locked when you found it as a Fateful. You had to do like a crazy convoluted event to get this, and then you finally had the ability to catch it. So the way to like get these as a Shalfa really only is to breed them. Uh, and a lot of these are the most like desired Shalfas in the game. So stuff like the Moldbreaker Excadrill. This is a classic one. It goes for a ton of money because of how good it is and competitive. Gyarados, awesome shiny. Another really good like utility Pokemon because it has Moxie, and Yeah, it's just a limited run of them. They're probably gonna come back this year, but another example of a Pokemon that's never coming back is the Kanto starters. So like Charizard, Charmander, all these guys. Uh, these were given out in the anniversary event, like the original one, and I don't think they could be shiny when you first met them. I could be wrong. These might be some of the only ones that could be shiny with the Fateful Encounter tag, but I'm not sure. I've never seen one. That's the only reason I say this. Um, so yeah, you've got all these event exclusive Pokemon that are really rare. Uh, and there's you never see stuff that have you never see a shiny alpha with the Fateful Encounter tag, right? Um, but this Amoonguss that I've got actually does have it, and I've been told it's because they weren't supposed to, but the way you got these, from my knowledge, is you get them from a lost present, which was like an event thing, and for the first little while they had the ability to be shiny. Um, as far as I know, there's 3 of these in existence. So I'm talking, there's mine. I've seen another guy that just has one as his OT that got super lucky, and I've seen another one go up on the GTL. The other one that was up on the GTL was a secret shiny, and it was up for some price like 266 million, I think. It was in the 200s. It was a ridiculous Pokemon. I've never seen anything like it. Uh, and there's also, I think, multiple Electrodes, which were gotten by the same way. I have a clip of me looking at one in trade chat, and I can probably show that off like right now. This is just footage for the video. I found a guy in trade chat who's got one of the Electrodes. It's got the Fateful Encounter thing. This thing's got to be like one of the rarest shinies in the entire game. Yeah, I showed you guys the Electrode. Um, these alpha Pokemon with Fateful Encounter, it really is rare. Uh, I had to make a video about it because you never see stuff like this. I think there are some variants of Alpha Shinies that would give this a run for its money. I've never seen some of these exist, so give me a second. You do Alpha and then Kanto Friends. So the base price of these is like 700k, and that's because this is a boss particle, and it's the original boss particle you can get on an Alpha. And I've never seen a Shalfa with one of these. The reason why these are so expensive is to get the particle on it. You can't just go and buy the Kanto Friends particle. You have to breed it over from another Pokemon. So if you had a Shalfa and you wanted the Shalfa to have this particle, you'd have to buy a Shalfa with this particle. That's the only way to get it, and you'd have to merge them together. It'd be a ridiculously expensive process. And I've never even seen one originally that has this. There probably is one somewhere. I could ask around and maybe find out, but yeah, this is an example. I think there is a Menacing Spirit one though, which is another pretty. Oh wait, I've seen the Musharna. There is a Musharna that has Menacing Spirit. It's a Shalfa. Um, one of the most ridiculously rare shinies in the whole game. Because that's another boss particle. That one's slightly less rare though, because you could get it on an Alpha Ditto. So you could craft whatever Pokemon you want to begin with easier. Um, because the Kanto Friends particle is only on gendered Pokemon, you actually can't get a Starmie with a Shalfa Starmie with the Kanto Friends. That's impossible. You would have to make an Alpha Starmie, put a Ditto with Menacing Spirit onto that Starmie, and then chain breed that Starmie up to get their original boss particle on it, which would be the Menacing Spirit one. Um, so yeah, I'll show you guys this Amoonguss in battle, just because it's so crazy. This is easily the rarest Pokemon I own. Like my Rotom does not hold a candle to this thing. I've been holding it in my on my team for a little while just because it has 4. And I think it's kind of a funny thing to just have as my follower sprite when I'm fishing for Barboaches. Um, yeah, this is my like first kind of informational video, I guess. I hope you guys enjoy it. It was a lot of fun to like write kind of a a script up to talk about. So yeah, if you guys want more stuff like this, I can try to find more interesting topics to talk about. Uh, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and take care.